Never fear, Cindersh is here. It's a Super Saiyan 7 Cindersh. Today I'm bringing you a discussion based off of episode 2 from Doctor Who's series 9, the episode The Witch is Familiar. Now in this episode, we've got a lot of things going on. We're picking up where the last episode left off in terms of the dynamic between the Doctor and Davros, and with the looming question, what is the Doctor going to do to the child Davros that he met at the beginning of the previous episode? And, we saw at the end, it looked like he was about to exterminate Davros. So we're still left with this episode wondering what is the Doctor's final decision going to be when he goes back to face child Davros again. But I want to focus on a different question. This is a question we've heard asked multiple times throughout the life of the series of Doctor Who. And it's one Davros asks. Of course, he thinks he's got the answer, and we'll look at his answer. And then we can talk about whether or not that's right or not. But I think it's an important question, and maybe one we finally see some sort of answer to this series, or maybe, the way Moffat is, he's setting us up for next series to answer that question, or it's asked because Davros thinks he has his answer, even though that still may not be the right answer. So to get started, we're going to start off with a small clip, and we'll have several clips throughout this as we go, and we'll talk about them as we go. But here's the question. Here's what starts things off.
Well, why did you leave Gallifrey? Not because I did. It was so bad, and I was on a place Gallifrey. It was always the same line. One line, you were bored. No one runs. You could run for so small a reason. I do. You don't.
Okay, so we get this scene here, and Davros seems to know quite a bit about the Doctor here. Things that he probably maybe ought not to know. I mean, there are experiences that have happened outside of the Doctor's relationship to Davros himself. I mean, he's been on other journeys where other people have asked him, why have you left Gallifrey? Why did you leave Gallifrey? And as Davros acknowledges here, his answer is always the same. Well, I got bored. The Doctor is being evasive in his answer. And Davros is probably right that this boredom answer is not the real answer. He's probably correct there. There is some other reason the Doctor took off with his granddaughter, Susan, and left Gallifrey. But what that reason is, we don't really know. So let's continue here. What happens next? So, Davros suspects, and I think quite rightly, part of his confession has to do with why he left Gallifrey. And I think that confession dial is going to be something we're going to see again in the future. He eventually palms it during this episode. He takes it back. Not until after he's taking his glasses. His glasses, he tended to at least make them look like he was more concerned about the glasses. And I think To some extent, I mean, obviously, because we know from watching the episode, those glasses are his new sonic device. He doesn't have that sonic screwdriver that we're all used to having, used to seeing. One of these things. Instead, he's got his sunglasses and he's turned them into a sonic device. So he was keen to get the sonic glasses. I can understand that. But he was also, like Davros suspects, trying to not show how concerned he is about what that dial has to say. Of course, it wasn't going to fully open until the doctor's dead. Missy tells us that. So Davros couldn't get his hand on what's actually there, but he's trying to ask the doctor, convince the doctor to tell him, what does this dial say? Because I'm almost certain it's the reason why you left Gallifrey. Or part of what the information this confession dial says contains that information anyways. Another one of those big questions that maybe gets answered in his confession dial is the truth behind who the doctor is. You know, the big question. Doctor who? The oldest question in the universe. Doctor who? Of course, we know he has a Gallifreyan name, which we don't ever hear. We may never hear. Although we do know occasionally characters do know it. Clara has read it. Obviously, River Song knows his name. She's the one that speaks it in the name of the doctor. And you know, Gallifreyans know his real name. The Master knows his true name. I mean, there's a handful of people that exist that know his true name. And of course, his true identity, depending on what you believe about that, may also contribute to why he fled Gallifrey. And of course, Davros here thinks he's got a solution to why the Doctor has left Gallifrey.
Was a prophecy you got on your own. It spoke of a hybrid creature. Two great warrior races forced together to create a warrior greater than you. Is that what you read from Doctor? Your part in the coming of the hybrid? Half dark, half time lord.
Now, of course, Davros, we don't know how he got his hands on this prophecy, but he mentions this prophecy, and we've seen this try to play out before. Check out Dalek Sek, who became a hybrid human Dalek for a very similar reason, to try and create this hybrid Dalek that was superior. But then Dalek Sek took on the human emotions and became an anathema to the Daleks. So this idea is not a new idea, that there would be this hybrid. And of course, there are lots of other prophecies made about and by the Time Lords. Why Davros jumps to the conclusion that the Doctor knows for certain, or at least assumes he has a role in creating this. Maybe because when he first created this idea, he thought the Doctor was the only Time Lord left, since all the others had been destroyed in the Time War, which Davros mentions. But then even before this point, the Doctor has told him, well, during this episode, the Doctor tells him that his people have been saved, that he doesn't know where they are anymore. He doesn't know where the planet is. It's been hidden from him. And if he never finds it, so be it. But they are alive. He isn't the only Time Lord still alive. The others were not lost forever. It could still be some other Time Lord or Time Lady. In fact, Missy's brilliant idea at the end of the episode could be tied to Davros's desire for a hybrid Dalek. That may yet be what Missy brings about. I mean, that would not be the Doctor doing it. That'd be Missy doing it. Of course, that's speculation. Don't hold me to that. Her plan could be somehow to recharge her vortex manipulator and teleport out of there when they attack her, like she did the first time. I don't know. Just a few. Her ideas. I mean, it could be anything. I mean, she's already tried to convince the Daleks that she is their hope to march on into time and into space to be conquerors. She already tried that ploy during the episode, or the last episode. So what's gonna happen there? I don't know. What are your thoughts? What do you think is the reason the Doctor really left Gallifrey, if you have thoughts? I certainly don't think that Davros's suspicion that he ran to avoid being part of this hybrid is the reason. Certainly, that was Davros's goal, is to make the Doctor be part of part of this prophecy, to force this prophecy to come about during this episode. That was his plan, and the Doctor foils it. So obviously, that's not the answer, and we're still left wondering what is the real answer to this question. Why did Doctor leave Gallifrey? I don't know if we'll ever get that answer, but that's what I want to talk about out of this episode was this question. Like I said, it's not a new question; it's an old one. It's a revamped question, and maybe it's being revamped so quickly, so early, because we are going to get some more information on it. I hope so. That would be nice. I don't know if we'll get the full details, but even if we got just a small, really small tidbit of more information as to why the Doctor left, what triggered his deciding to leave, and what is it he was running from. And obviously, again, it's another one of those things the Doctor tells us several different occasions. I've been running all my life. So we don't know yet the answer to this question. But it was a question that drove this episode. And it's partially because, if not completely because, Davros thought he had the answer. So maybe that this is it for that question again, for this series. Maybe we won't see it again. And because Davros thought he had the answer, that could be it. We always see, and we'll have to wait for this question to be addressed sometime in the far future. But maybe Davros brings it up now because it is something that's going to recur through this series. So that's something to think about. Well, I hope you've liked the video. You've enjoyed my thoughts. This is going to be the format I'm going to kind of take for the rest of the series. Is I'll pick something out of the episode to discuss. Not necessarily discussing the whole episode in a breakdown. But I'll find something in each episode to cling to specifically to talk about. And hope you'll continue to watch my videos. Please please subscribe to my channel if you've not done so. And we'll be back next week with another episode. Thank you for watching.